Good afternoon, y'all. Now, before before I proceed at all, I want to preface this video by saying mental health professionals and professionals in any field, we should respect them, we should respect their training, and even in the events that they might not be all the way correct or accurate, it is still always important to consult one. Now, with that being said, the topic of this video is simply the fact, it is a fact, that mental health professionals are not infallible, meaning they can be wrong. It is not uncommon for them to be wrong. And they could be wrong about a lot of things and fairly often. And that's okay. That's where your own introspection and self-discovery and self-examination come in. That's the balance. You have the balance of seeking professional help, but then you have also with your own knowledge of self. Okay? So, for instance, I want to say for the past year, I've been doing a lot of digging and looking into different disorders and just doing a lot of research, as I often do, just for my own, that's just, this is how I am. I'm always reading, looking into research, and learning more, because that's just what I'm oriented towards. So when it comes to psychology, specifically mental disorders, personality disorders, neurodevelopmental disorders and conditions, there's been a lot of discourse in regards to the validity of self-diagnosis, in particular when it comes to autism spectrum disorder. Now, if you go on TikTok, you'll see a lot of people who are often in their 20s, 30s, and this relates to ADHD too, realizing that they had autism spectrum disorder, they were on the spectrum, and it was never really picked up on by professionals due to what you call masking. Now, people who are on the spectrum, they have difficulties with certain things. They have difficulties blending in socially, understanding social cues. They can be very sensitive to certain sensory stimuli, but because the way the world's set up, that's not built for the neurodiverse individual. They're kind of forced to mask, and it's self-explanatory. They put on this mask to try to blend in and ingratiate themselves to other people, and obviously, because wearing this mask, their people won't pick up on certain peculiar behavior. Jesus Christ, that word kicked my ass. So a lot of people went undiagnosed, and this also ties into certain gender and race and cultural perceptions. Like, most of the times, individuals that are diagnosed with the autism spectrum disorder are children, boys, Caucasian. So you see a lot of women that didn't realize they were on the spectrum, a lot of African Americans and other races that didn't realize they were on the spectrum, and of course they went throughout their childhood being undiagnosed, and then they're adults, and then it's difficult to even get seen at that point, or have a what do you call it, neuropsychological examination done, because a lot of this stuff is geared toward children. So you got lots of people, women, black people, who went undiagnosed, and now due to all this information that's readily available, especially when it comes to TikTok, where people are talking about their own life experiences, people are starting to realize, and there's being more emphasis placed on, recognizing this stuff in yourself. But of course, there's lots of pushback against self-diagnosis because we're so reliant on professionals, which we should be for the most part, but we must also realize that they are not always right. And that's where we meet in the middle. You understand? Like, where you'd be like, no, listen, like, I've seen this thing in myself, and I've had these struggles for such a long time, and I was never able to, like, really function to my full capacity or potential because of this. And I've seen people say, they brought it up to a doctor, professional, like, I think I'm on the spectrum, and the professional says, no, I don't think so, you maintain eye contact too well. Like, complete lack of nuance. That's where, that's a big, the lack of nuance, the realizing that not every presentation is going to be identical or fit into a strict set of criteria. That's just not how anything in psychology or mental health or neuropsychology, anything works. There's sciences, but they're not sciences in the way that chemistry or biology, and even if we look at the medical field, like, one thing I've learned with my mother being having multiple myeloma, like, no one's treatment when it comes to cancer is going to be exactly the same. You apply that to mental health, whew, it gets real complicated, complex, nuanced. You see where I'm going? Now, look at me. I'm 32. Just realizing I have ADHD. Just had it confirmed by a professional. But if I didn't look at myself and completely, like, go through my entire life story and history and look back and realize, oh my God, this happened, and in retrospect, in hindsight, it was all so obvious, and then bring that up to my personal clinician, we would have, and she knew, and she saw it. But therapists, you must understand, they don't always focus on diagnosis or condition or label. They're more interested in your particular symptoms that are causing you trouble, and they tailor suit it to your needs. So she wasn't wrong to not just be like, you got ADHD. But I placed the blame on my teachers, and when I was in school, and the way you act up in school, or you're not performing to their standards, and they kind of label you as lazy or not applying yourself, or just a troubled child or a disruptive kid. And instead of getting help, you get a stigma placed on you or applied to you. And a lot of me and my friends went through that. And in hindsight, like, if someone would have just approached it differently and said, and not just labeled you as a difficult child, and realized, like, why can't this person not interrupt? Why can't this person stay in their seat? Why can't this person stay still? Why is this person taking so long to finish their work? Some compassion. So many of us would have been better off. And what really prompted me to talk about this is a video that I watched, and it was like 10 things that sociopaths struggle with. And I was like, because it's very not like the normal video, like, that portray, you know, people with antisocial personality disorder, the clinical equivalent of sociopathy or psychopathy. The usual video is like, ways sociopaths ruin your life, ways sociopaths destroy you, ways sociopaths manipulate you. It actually approached it with the idea that these people have a condition that not only affects others, but affects the person with it. Sociopaths aren't having an easy time. They're not this superhuman, like, evil force that is in. But you know, we know about, you know, serial criminals and all sorts of horrible people who we use as a reference for what sociopathic or psychopathic behavior looks like and how it manifests. But that's not always the case. Like, it's more nuanced, and there's some sociopaths in your life that are, you know, suffering from their condition. Some of them aren't really. Not all of them are bad. You know, a lot of people don't want to hear that because, you know, they've been hurt, which is understandable. But no two people are the same. And I was like, just the way this video was framed and the way that this is a condition that a person suffers from, it can cause them to make other people suffer as well. But this person also suffers. This person finds it hard to relate to other people, to feel included, to function in society effectively. And guess what? Guess what trend and pattern I've been seeing? A lot of people who have this condition started out as kids, undiagnosed, with some kind of neurodevelopmental disorder, condition, and the way their environment affected them in the way that they started to develop this pattern of behavior. You'll see a lot of crossover with antisocial personality disorder and ADHD, or this developed into oppositional defiant disorder or conduct disorder, and then this is what led to the emergence of these sociopathic or psychopathic traits. And if we were not just look at things from like, this is the strict diagnostic criteria, and that there's more nuance than that, you know, we would have a better understanding of a lot of different conditions. So that's all I wanted to say. And the takeaway from this is just to let you know, like, listen, you don't always need someone to tell you what's going on with you. Get to know yourself. You understand? Like, because even if someone is able to recognize something in you, if you don't recognize it, then what sense is it gonna make? You got to meet in the middle anyway, so you might as well be active participant in your own evolution and improvement and healing. So yeah, y'all, just want to throw that out there. Get out today. It's beautiful, especially if you're in the Boston area. It's a very nice day. Get out, enjoy the weather. This is your boy. Peace out.